Now we have to add in the function that spawns multiple blocks. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's add in a function. We'll call this spawn multiple blocks. And what we're going to do here is we're going to say for underscore in one dot dot dot, and then this is the top number. So let's say you wanted to spawn 10 blocks, then you would go and add in 10 here. But we happen to have a variable. We call this amount of blocks to spawn. So we have that up here, and we can just simply copy that and paste it here. And what we'll do is within this for loop, we'll say spawn block. Okay. Now, if we really wanted to, we could say we could add in an if statement in here. But for now, let's just keep it like this here. So let's say spawn multiple block, and let's add in multiple blocks. Grammar is always a good thing. So let's run that here. In this case, the top number is 25. So if we run that here, you can see that we can now add that in here. And that's looking pretty good. Bit of a problem though, you can see that the size of score is huge. So for some reason, it's getting set to something different. So let's go and update score and let's reset the font size here. And let's go ahead and let's add in a var. We'll call this score font size and make that equal to 40. And what we'll do is we'll make that equal to score font size. And that way we can go and change the score font size. Okay, there we go. And you can see here it actually wants it to be a CG float. So let's make that a CG float. Okay, there we go. And we'll run that here, and let's just run that again. Okay, and as you can see here, what's happening is that if we look at this here, we have the LBL score, and it looks like the LBL timer is not the right one. So let's go ahead and let's add that in here. Let's run that whole thing one more time. And it's good to test it. There we go. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. Oh no. But you can still see here that I am able to collect the blocks. Okay. And let's actually drag this in a bit more here. So let's drag this into maybe, let's say 400 and 300. And yeah, that's probably a little bit better, but we can always test that later. But what we need to do now is we need to go over to our game over logic. We did set that up, but we didn't really do anything with it. So first things first is we're going to add in another function here, and we're going to call this reset the game. And we'll call this reset the game. Okay. And in reset or game over logic, that is, we're going to say is collecting is equal to false. So once the game is over, we're going to set everything to false, or at least this game state variable. We're going to go to is complete is equal to true. We're going to say self.background color is equal to off black color. Okay. And we'll change the background color. We'll go to LBL main dot font color is equal to orange custom color. And what's kind of cool about this is we have the game which is white, and then it switches to black. And so the player knows that it is different here. So we'll go to orange custom color here, and we're going to go to LBL timer dot font color is equal to orange custom color. Now another thing we can do here is, since we don't really need the timer, what we can also do is say LBL timer dot text is equal to nothing. Okay, and let's go to lbl main dot text, of course, is equal to game over. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at that. And of course, we haven't added in the resetting of the game logic yet, but we can go ahead. It says collect blocks, and you got to kind of collect all the blocks. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Perfect. And then it just says game over here. Now, this looks a little sloppy. Why does it look sloppy? Because there's extra blocks here. So let's add in another function to deal with that here. We'll add in a function called remove extra blocks. And in here, we're going to say if is complete is double equal true. So we're only going to make sure that we remove all the blocks when is complete is equal to true. Now we're going to go to self dot enumerate child with no names, and we're going to add in the block name. We're going to tab over, add in a curly bracket, and another curly bracket, and then in here we're going to say node comma stop in. Okay, and we're going to say if let sprite is equal to node as sk sprite node, and within here we're going to say that this is sprite dot remove from parent. Okay, save it if you already haven't done so. And what we're going to do is we're going to call this once the reset game is over here. So we're going to say remove extra blocks. Right, so let's just go ahead and let's run it here, and let's just take a look at how everything's working here. So we got, collect blocks, and we have a nice little color scheme going on. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. 3, 2, 1, 0, and there you go. All the blocks were instantly removed. And notice how all the blocks were removed, and you didn't add to score. So that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and reset the game here. So we're going to say let wait is equal to skaction dot wait for duration, and we'll wait 3 seconds before we reset the game. We're going to say let the game scene is equal to game scene, and we're going to say size, and it's going to be self dot size. And we're going to say the game scene is equal to game scene dot scale mode, actually is equal to sk scene scale mode dot aspect fill. We're going to say let the transition is equal to sk transition, and we'll do cross fade with duration, make it 0.5 seconds. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say let change scene is equal to skaction.run block, and within that run block we are going to go to self.scene.view.present scene, and that present scene is going to be the game scene, and it's going to be transition, or the transition, of course, the transition. All right, we're very close to finishing that up here. And we're going to say let sequence is equal to sk action.sequence, and we're going to put in the wait, then change scene, and we're going to say self.runAction. We're going to say sk action.repeat action. We're going to repeat the sequence a total of 1 time. Now it says it's giving an error here, and you can see that we just need to add in that item here. Let's hop up all the way to the top, and we'll add in a function called reset game variables on start. And what that's going to do is that's going to we need to reset all the variables here. We'll set is complete is equal to true, is complete is equal to false, but is collecting is equal to true. We do need that here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say collecting timer is equal to 7. We're going to say score is equal to 0, and then we're going to say amount of blocks to spawn is equal to 25. Now, what you could do is you could change this amount if you wanted to reset it here, okay? But that pretty much concludes the tutorial.